You could unintentionally violate the terms of your SEC regulated raise without ever realizing that you did it. Not because you're careless, just because you're going to be preoccupied with all of the other things you have to do during an equity crowdfunding campaign. And it's very possible that compliance is not something that's even on your radar right now. A lot of founders walk into equity crowdfunding thinking about the sexy things like the pitch, the page, the investors. Compliance is not normally in the beginning conversations. And that's a big problem because this is not a normal marketing campaign. This is a regulated offering, and what you say and how you say it carries real consequences. Personally, I've written more campaign updates and created more ad campaigns than I can even count across multiple companies, and I still get things kicked back for edits and modifications related to compliance. It's not because I don't know the rules, it's just because getting this right every single time is genuinely hard. Hello, my name is Michael, and I'm here to help you navigate the real world behind the scenes equity crowdfunding process so that you can be better prepared and avoid costly mistakes and missed opportunities. In just a few moments, I'll show you what the SEC says about what you can say and what you can't say, which is always an interesting thing to look into. But before we look into how compliance will affect your campaign, please make sure you've taken my Equity Crowdfunding Reality Check. It's a free course that walks you through the three most valuable questions that you can ask yourself before you launch a campaign. How much do you really need to raise? How many investors does that actually require? And what does it really cost to reach them? It's totally free, and it is exactly the foundation that everything else that I teach builds on top of. And it also comes with a free download, the Equity Crowdfunding North Star. It's just something to keep you grounded in reality while you're out there researching this industry. Because honestly, there's a lot of noise to sort through. And as always, you don't have to figure out all of this stuff alone. We can do it together. Okay, here's something that you absolutely must know before you go any further. Equity crowdfunding campaigns are SEC regulated, and that means there's a real specific language and rules around what you can and cannot say at every stage. There's a set of rules for the testing the waters phase, which happens before your campaign officially starts. And there's a different set of rules once you're actually live after filing your Form C. That's not a small detail. And it's not something that ever really comes up in the brochure versions of the industry. It usually you'll find out after. And compliance is a real task. It's a real responsibility. And it's something that you need to walk in already aware of so that A, you don't put yourself at risk of violating SEC rules, and B, so you're actually prepared for the time it adds to executing your campaign. Because it does increase the amount of time that you or your team spend running the campaign. This moves a little slower than a normal marketing campaign and a lot slower than some founders are used to. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. And not to teach you all of the compliance rules right now, it's just to show you the kind of thing that you're actually dealing with. This is the actual SEC regulation that governs how you can advertise your equity crowdfunding campaign. And down here's the big one you need to know about: terms and non terms. For example, if your marketing includes any of the actual terms of your offering, your valuation, your price per share, anything like that, you're suddenly restricted to a very narrow, specific format. and nothing else can go into that same piece of content. If you mix in broader marketing language alongside those terms, you are immediately non compliant. That's just one rule out of an entire regulatory framework that you're expected to understand and apply correctly, update after update, ad after ad, for the entire length of your campaign. And to make things even more interesting, compliance isn't handled the same way across every platform. There's no single standardized system of education and enforcement that all of them follow. Some platforms have a rigorous compliance review process, and some have the opposite of rigorous. But what most platforms do give you is real information about compliance. They will usually give you a guide about the rules of communication. They'll give you compliant email templates and other resources outlining what you can and can't say at each point of the raise. And that's a genuine effort on their part to keep you within the SEC guardrails. But here's what that guidance isn't: it's not a system that reviews your judgment for you every step of the way. And it isn't a substitute for actually understanding the rules yourself. And it's not something that you just read once and then you just magically know. It's something you will constantly learn over the full course of the campaign, especially during your first investment campaign. So here's what I want you to walk away with today: the risk of violating SEC regulations is real, and it's exactly why compliance takes extra time that normal marketing campaigns don't require. Getting this right every single time does slow everything down. Every update, every ad, every piece of content takes a little longer to get out the door than it would during a normal marketing campaign. Over the years that I've been working in this industry, I have watched the responsibility of compliance be passed on more and more from the platforms to the founders themselves. So, this is not something that you can just assume is fully covered on your behalf just because you signed up. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you can actually prepare both for the risk and for the extra time it takes to manage it correctly. If you're serious about getting ready for a campaign, the reality check is seriously where you start. It's free, it's a full course, and the link is in the description. If you've got a question about your specific situation or the industry in general, drop it in the comments. I promise I read every single one. And as always, thank you for supporting this channel, and thank you for trusting me at this point of your equity crowdfunding journey.